what point do we hold people responsible for their behavior?
I feel like you harbor relationships.
I harbor relationships? Why you feel that way?
Because I mean,
That's
you've been
not
in
me.
long-term relationships, so it's kind of like.
But I was the problem.
Yeah, no.
But
grace.
isn't that not you being accountable because you don't have a perfect perspective of yourself?
Well, now.
You have literally met a person today and y'all are married in your
Yeah.
brain and a whole life tomorrow.
No, I feel like sometimes even no matter what the extent that they do, you will still be available.
Let's shoot a more production.
I'm Bree,
Jess.
I'm Lamar.
Troy.
the Mind Over
Matter
Matter
podcast.
podcast. So we're going to get into some topics. What we feel like is something that may be a topic that everybody can kind of relate to is you're not healing. You just rebranding your problem.
That's it.
At what point do we hold people responsible for their behavior? Like
When they know better.
What's the problem?
when they know better?
Mm-hmm.
When they know better.
What's the
How
competitive?
you know when they know better?
Yeah, that's what I said. How you
When you know better is
better?
when you can identify it. So when you can identify, when a person can identify it in somebody else's life and they have not taken the responsibility to identify it in their own, that's when I can hold you accountable.
But I'm a counter that though, because I feel like we all know how to lose weight, diet and exercise.
That's discipline though.
But we know it though.
Yeah, but so I can hold you accountable for not being disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know it.
Troy.
That was easy.
I'm just saying.
You threw yourself in there.
You threw yourself in the fire
was
with that
easy.
one.
I
Like,
don't know. I feel like
no, because then
Hey.
you're not being accountable.
Yeah.
That's what that would be.
I think this is more like, you have somebody in the family that everyone just kind of says like, oh, that's just Jess or that's just Bree. And we let that go so much.
Yeah.
And people don't hold people accountable for their behavior, or they may know like what this person has been through, or they have this particular diagnosis, and so people just let it slide. But a lot of times people get so comfortable in their diagnosis and feeling like, oh, well, this is what's wrong with me. And this it's okay for me to be this way. Like Lamar said, when you know that they know better, because a lot of people hide behind these diagnoses now. It's like, okay, this is what I can't do this, or this is how I am because I have this particular diagnosis.
Don't lower the standard for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep the
Yeah.
standard high.
Because you can have a diagnosis and know how to work through it, or even have the desire to want to work through. Just because you have a diagnosis doesn't just mean this is terminal. Like, this is just it. This is how I am. Like, you can work through it.
But we ain't even got to go to like the mental health aspect. You can just do like just general therapy. That's like if I come to therapy and I'm complaining about what a woman doing and I'm doing the same exact thing. That's when I'm saying like you are identifying that person's being narcissistic and you're being narcissistic, but you can't even identify that you're doing the same thing. But you see it in everybody else's movement. That's what I'm talking about. Like literally, like that's
cool when they do it.
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. That's what I'm saying. Well, like I'm gonna hold you accountable because it's like you know better.
Yeah.
You know better because you can see it. Like my son knows that he shouldn't throw trash on the floor. He
on
know
the
he sees
tables.
that everyone else throws trash in the trash can. You know better. Now I can discipline you.
I think that I feel like I give people grace to an extent though, because being a Taurus, I feel like I do let shit slide at first, but then after the next time, it's like you just cut off. It's no in between. It's like I let you slide, and after you slide and you do the same thing again, you cut off.
Do you
do
actually let
they
people
know-
slide?
I
Because I feel like
do.
I feel like you harbor relationships.
I harbor relationships. What does that mean?
No, I feel like sometimes even no matter what the extent that they do, you will still be available.
I don't know why you feel that way.
What
Why you feel like that about, right?
What gave you
I
that
don't
idea?
know.
Because that is not.
Because I mean,
That's
you've been
not
in
me.
long-term relationships, so it's kind of like
But I was the problem.
you can say that, but I feel like they were doing stuff that you ain't like either.
But you said something. You said you let a person slide, and then if they do it again, it's a cutoff.
Yeah.
Does the person know that what they've done has
Exactly.
required for you to let them slide? Because I could do something to you. I could be like, "What's up, my nigga?" And you don't like the word nigga, right? And I don't know that.
Yeah.
And so I didn't called you, like if you watch Beauty and Black, Angel calls Mr. James Butler nigga.
I
And
did.
constantly, he calls him Butler nigga constantly, right? And it grinds my gears. And Mr. James is not saying nothing to him. And so If I call you nigga
I
and
ain't
you
see that
don't
shit. I
know,
gotta check
oh
it
my
out.
gosh, if you,
Man, that's
I'm
the most
calling you this.
tubiest bullshit I've ever
Tyler
seen.
Perry did that, right?
It's so good.
Yes.
It's so good.
Shout
It's
out to
so
Tyler
good.
The plot is good,
It's
but
so
the
good.
production,
That's not the point. If I'm calling you this, but you have never discussed with me that you don't like the word nigga. And so
Right,
for
right.
you are letting me slide this one on Monday. I call you this on Monday. You let it slide. Here you talk to me again on Friday and I'm doing the same thing. But I have no idea that it's bothering you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you cut people off when there hasn't been a conversation surrounding the issue, or what is your context of like you let it slide and then the next time I cut it off?
I think it depends on the friendship. Like if it's somebody who's been around for a while, then I'm okay speaking on it. Like I don't mind talking about a situation. I've actually been told that I address things a little too much. So I
Okay.
don't mind addressing when I'm feeling away. But a lot of times in my past, I felt like if you did something, you should know what you did. Now I understand that's problematic because I can't
Very
assume.
much so.
I
Very
can't
much so.
assume that people know when I'm irritated, and that's something that I had to learn that people don't have. And honestly, a lot of times when people do something that really irritates you, because a lot of people have the spirit of aggravation, they don't know that. They really don't. And after they do it, they not gonna think about that ever again in your life. So I'm premeditating on something that ain't nobody even thinking
know
about.
that was an issue.
Yeah. So I would say I do speak on it, and if I have to speak on it again, then that's when the cutoff comes.
Okay.
In my adult years now. However, I haven't had a lot of relationships that I've had to do that with recently, but I'm waiting on it.
Okay. So would you say
Unfortunately.
that that's giving grace, or is grace contingent upon the one time I say something?
I think grace is, and this is so problematic. Grace is probably contingent on the one time, but that's a learned behavior. I learned that behavior.
Okay.
You know, so it's something that I'm learning to unlearn. And I
Okay.
can speak these things out loud, which is why I feel like I'm good at having ChatGPT as my therapist, because I'm going to say what's wrong with me. I'm going to say what's wrong with me too. But I feel like if you're a person who can speak what you have or what's wrong with you out loud, but you don't acknowledge what you do wrong, that's when the enabling comes. I know what I do wrong, and I know I can kind of feel what the other person do wrong in my perspective. So I'm working on it.
Okay.
I'm working on it.
Not to chuckle.
I didn't say
Because
nothing.
you say I harbor relationships. Is it something about me that gives that I like give people too many chances? Like, am I like a pushover? Is that what it like? Because that's what it feel like.
I'm not saying a pushover, but I feel like you have acceptance of a lot of shit.
Like, and what? How do you know this though? Like, it's just like a feeling.
Yeah. I just
When
give
he first said that,
Give me a feeling.
when he first said that, I took it from the perspective because I know that when you get into relationships or have relationships with people, it's very immediate.
Yeah.
It's like a really like a super connected relationship very quick. And so you want it to be all of you have literally met a person today and y'all are married in your brain and a whole life tomorrow. So when he said harboring relationships, I took that more from just your idea and the conception of like, this is what this relationship is and this is what I want and I'm going to stay in this until it gets there.
Yeah.
That's what I took.
That's
it
harboring
as.
relationship. So that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because again, we had this conversation before.
Yeah.
Because that's what the ideology you had.
I got
You're not like, even if they mess up, you still like, this is what I want.
No, even so, like I told y'all before, I have an idea of what I want in my mind, and as soon as somebody diverts from that, I'm turned off. So
Okay.
that's
Okay.
a very
Didn't know that.
I don't
big-
think you.
I don't think
feel
she
like
ever
I've
said
that.
to us.
Maybe I feel like I've said it before, but maybe it was a while ago. But yeah, no, I have a perfect world mentality, and as soon as that is messed up, I'm out.
That's messed up.
It's like a light switch.
Yeah, no.
But
grace.
isn't that not you being accountable because you don't have a perfect perspective of yourself?
Well, now.
Oh, okay, we
All right.
gonna skip. I'm just saying.
Next question.
Well,
And now I can hold you accountable.
Right.
See?
Yeah, no,
Well,
that's
now.
That's true. Anyways. So, based on therapy speak, a lot of people don't go to therapy because they have this perception of what they may be called based on what somebody else has called them. So, my question to the group, to you guys, actually, my question to you, Jess, because I really want to know as a therapist how you feel about this. Is therapy speak helpful or harmful? For example, the word trigger, toxic, narcissistic. Are they being overused? Are they helpful? Are they harmful? Is everybody narcissistic or traumatized now?
Yes. So no, the
Period.
answer is not yes. No,
Okay.
the answer is not yes. Is it overused and misused? Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're using these terms like social media is so good and it can be so bad because people will take one word and literally like I don't think that we've ever heard narcissist the more that we've heard it within the last year, 2 years at this point. I went to a conference and a psychologist, he's been in the game about 30 years, and he literally said in his 30 years of practice, he's only diagnosed one person with narcissistic personality disorder.
That's
and
crazy.
everybody was sitting there like, what? Like, wow.
Wow.
And he broke it down in such a way that because someone had posed a question and it was like, my boyfriend or my past relationship, he was a narcissist and da-da-da. And he really started challenging her of like, what does that really mean? And when he broke down what a narcissist is, he literally said that a narcissist is a person that treats everyone across the board the same way. So if you are a narcissist, you are not going to treat your mom, your dad, your brother, your daughter, whomever. There's not going to be any change. But a person who has narcissistic symptoms and personality traits, you may treat your girlfriend or your partner a certain way, but you're going to go and now you're making the choice to treat your mom differently. So if you have that ability to do that in your mind, you're not a narcissist because a narcissist doesn't care. You're going to get the same person across the board. And most people that call people narcissists, they have at least one person that they are not treating in that light. So whether it's your mom, somebody that they really care about and not in a power dynamic of their relationship, you're not treating your mom, somebody who you really care about versus that relationship that you're trying to control. So all of these words, yes, everything, because it's the buzzwords and what people are saying on social media. Now everybody is traumatized. Everybody is triggered. And I do feel like just being in the field, having these words and people being to say, oh, this is traumatizing, this is triggering, it's taking away people's ability to really adapt to life because mental health is such a big conversation now. We're using words like, oh, this is triggering, but no, this is just life happening. And because mental health has become so like everyone's like, okay, we don't want to mess with people's mental health. It's like as soon as you can say those words, you can back off from having to do the real work. But it's like, is this really triggering?
It's crippling.
It's crippling, correct. Like it's crippling.
No accountability.
No accountability.
But I think narcissistic, they take elements. It's like having a definition and you see key elements and being like, oh, well, these 5 things that will make a narcissistic person that they got like 2. And they were the traits, like she said. And so it's like, you have a lack of empathy. But just because, like she said, just because you don't have a lack of empathy with your partner doesn't mean that you have lack of empathy over here. So defining narcissistic, you have behavioral things that will reflect that, but doesn't mean that you are technically narcissistic.